经过前几周比赛，我们队伍有很多地方都不足吧。
我觉得我们的优点就是沟通很好，而且氛围也很好，大家都比较团结。
这里因为已经没有闪现的关系，被沙皇戳了一路。你如果停下来做压制的话，沙皇的杀兵就连戳你3下，这么一来连收分都跟着赔了进去。
希望自己发挥出自己正常水平，BLG不可能赢我们。
FPX 是新队里面磨合比较好的吧，我们的话比赛经验比较多一点。
Bilibili Gaming 很果断 ，rush 到大龙之后，肉盾的曹魏已经上去了，一只羊顶推掉了左翼，
螳螂在前面
螳螂想进场被金山推在空中直接收掉。
BLG 就下了吧，我觉得我应该可以压一点。
现在跟林伟翔对线的话，应该是能知道他们是天下有打，所以会有所准备。我们之前输了比赛嘛，所以我们以后要赢回来更多的比赛。
我觉得他们可能会赢得更多的胜利，但绝不可能在我们这里获得这场胜利。
Welcome back to week 3 of the LPL, everyone. We're coming at you live from Shanghai, ready to get started on a very hype weekend. Lots and lots of long games coming at you as we get ready for the Lunar New Year coming up. But, of course, our first matchup, BLG versus FPX, the young, the new, taking on the old and the experienced. BLG still trying to continue that impressive win streak, whereas FPX, you can see LWX with some confident words before he gets ready to hop into that game a little bit later. But welcome, everyone. My name is Dominic Dom Romer. Joining me here on this broadcast, Zach Rusty Pie. Sir, your hair is fantastic. How are you?
Thank you. I'm fantastic as well. I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited to see more LPL action. But how are you, Dom?
Hey, you know, I'm doing pretty good.
That's good because we've seen 2 games of LPL so far. Well, you've seen them. No one else has. So do you think you're able to catch us up on what happened?
You know what? Let's hop right on into it and see what Tuesday and Wednesday held for us.
What's up, everyone? I'm Dom, and this is Missed It. Let's get going. Tuesday's first set saw LGD take on TOP Sports Gaming, with LGD on the cusp of a win streak and TOP still chasing that elusive first victory. TOP started off with some great early pressure from both Karen and Cat, forging advantages in the solo lanes, an effect that inevitably spills over to any Kog'Maw composition. LGD stood defiant with some great picks, a Baron steal from Amy, and Jinu's attempted split pushing, but ultimately had no answer once the Kog'Maw came fully online. The series starts 1-0 TOP. Game 2 and 3 set the agenda straight, however, as LGD stood tall and delivered an apt response to their Game 1 defeat. Jinu had an outstanding Vlad performance, and Imp worked his AD carry magic once more to turn the series around. LGD 2-1 in on their first official LPL win streak for the first time since 2016 spring. Set 2 was an assertion of dominance as Snake Esports declared themselves the alpha male in the LPL against Bilibili Gaming in their home stadium at Chongqing. Right out the gates, SOFM pranced his way into the enemy jungle and the bottom lane, and then, well, anywhere he wanted. Some unfortunate moments from BLG coupled with constantly constricting pressure from Snake was enough to close this game out in just over 30 minutes. Game 2 saw a shift in pace from BLG with a fully fledged sieged composition. While the draft made sense, they were unable to execute and started to fall behind. Flunder got a 14-minute turret, and SOFM got his ganks off, which led to an eventual gold lead, teamfight victories, and a strong closeout for Snake Esports to take the series 2-0. Wednesday opened with Invictus Gaming against Suning, who came out swinging. Although IG looked good individually, Suning's team play was immaculate, allowing Suning to pick up multiple Barons, large gold leads, and big team fights. Fury also stepped up, nearly single-handedly winning many brawls. Rookie and the Shy struggled to keep him down, but in the end, both were able to put out highlight reel plays for Invictus Gaming. Despite all the advantages that Suning created, they never broke the base of IG. Comfortably turtling, IG lashed out in the late game to find a pick against Suning and create the tempo swings necessary to take the series 2-0. Our second set saw Oh My God versus Vici Gaming. OMG set the pace of the series with a 3-minute minion dematerializer roam coming from Icon. Vici struggled to hold their jungle as OMG members flew in from all directions. With Vici's topside held without a single kill the entire game, the tankier frontline of OMG managed to use that momentum to storm through Vici's base. Icon's Ryze, who ignited the blitz of Vici, finished the game in a legendary status for OMG. The second game was a highlight reel for Xiong and his Ornn, reversing a counter-pick matchup into Gnar with 3 solo kills. Though Vici managed to hang on with a clutch combo of Caveman's Tempered Fate into Gnar Walla, it seemed to be too little too late. Xiong led OMG to a sweep of Vici Gaming, snowballing the entire map from the top lane and finishing with a perfect scoreline of 5-0-5. OMG closed the day 2-0. And here are the final results for Tuesdays and Wednesdays games. This is our final weekend before the Lunar New Year, so let's hope that these games deliver.
Thanks, Dom. And would you believe it, LGD don't suck this year?
Yeah, it really is impressive to finally see them popping up. And would you believe that was all off the top of my head?
I wouldn't, actually.
Okay,
But,
so then let's turn our attention forward. Now that we're all caught up on what happened Tuesday and Wednesday, here are the standings going into this weekend's game. Taking a look at the east side, Invictus Gaming and Jingdong are 4-1 at the top of the standings.
yeah, Invictus Gaming, Jingdong both look outstanding. LGD has creeped into the top 4 as well, and RNG have found themselves in 6th place, but of course the Western Conference is the place that we're looking at for Snake in particular. They are standing alone now at the top of the standings.
Yeah, 4-1, absolute titans right now, but of course today we're going to be looking at Vici and EDG, and just afterwards it's BLG and FPX in our first game of the day.
Yeah, and today's games could be explosive, they could be the exact opposite, but that's the beauty of the teams currently competing, because there's so many questions about all of these rosters and how they're performing and how they're continuing to improve, especially in the last week before cross-conference.
Yeah, it's very, very important to get these wins in now, but Rusty, I think it's about time for us to turn our attention towards the game itself. FPX, when they first came in, we had a lot of hype around them, we were excited to see if they would actually do any good. I gotta lay it to you, bare bones, are FPX any good?
Yeah, look, they did start promising when we saw the roster. We were like, this could be a very good team. I had very high hopes for them, even myself as an analyst just looking at the team of 5. But to be perfectly honest with you, the question is, are they any good? The current answer is no, but honestly they could be. And that's the thing with FPX, is they're exciting to watch play League of Legends. They're fast-paced, they are explosive, and they have so much potential.
Yeah, they're a very decisive team. You can see the 5 players on your screen right now. They're already on stage ready to get into that next matchup. And that decisiveness is going to have to come in handy against BLG, who we often call BLG a bit of a miracle team. You can see they're already on stage looking pretty calm for their matchup because they're sitting a little bit higher in the standings.
Yeah, certainly they're all smiles themselves as we do get to go through those rosters, Dom.
Yeah, first up, it's Gimgoon, Pepper, Bing, LWX, and Crisp for FPX.
Pepper, of course, formerly known as Yihan from RNG. The aggression is still there from the jungler of now the FunPlus Phoenix roster. With LWX and Crisp backing him up, though, some big carries to be showed on that roster.
And on the other side, Bilibili Gaming, AmazingJ, the captain of the team, SKS, Athena, Jinjiao, and Road.
And speaking of big carries in bottom lanes, Jinjiao and Road is also the first place that you want to look with BLG. And that's without mentioning the top lane matchup that we'll be having today, because the bottom lane 2v2, pretty much a battle of the Cogmores and the hyper carries, and then the explosions actually happen in the bottom lane as the top laners come down. Yeah,
we did hear a little bit during our pre-reel show that I believe it was, looking at the bottom lane here, Jinjiao and Ben, names completely escape me, they were a little concerned for LWX and Crisp on the other side, perhaps expecting a little bit of focus and pressure on that bottom lane.
Yeah, look, FunPlus Phoenix should probably go bottom lane. It makes a lot of sense that that's where they should go, and the thing is with this roster, the coolest dynamic about it is Pepper's the hinge with which they will win or lose the game, but they rely on LWX to carry the game through, and the difference there is that one can tilt and maybe does tilt often in the jungle role, but they always have that carry in the bottom lane. If Pepper plays well, it's easier to carry.
Well, we'll have to find out if he will be able to pull off that carry status and set up for his team. Of course, it's going to be our casters breaking it down. Let's hear from them.
Thank you very much, Dom and Rusty. I'm Fish. Joining me is Clement to bring you guys the first game of today. And Clement, one of the things that has been talked about on the analyst test, and something we've been talking about quite a bit, is are FunPlus Phoenix actually good? So far, it doesn't quite look like it. What do you think about FunPlus Phoenix?
Well, I think, like the analyst said, they do have a lot of potential, but their problem right now is that they're sitting at 13th place in terms of gold difference at 10. And the reason for that is they do have a lot of bad early games. So while we do look at their good games, you also have to remember their bad games. The games against Game 2 against WE, where they lost their first mid-tower and 2 kills, and other things like that really set them behind.
Let's do it. You can keep going. Keep telling us. Tell us more about FunPlus Phoenix.
I was just kind of shocked right there about that. As we did see in the SOTs, I think a big point about this this series right now is how much can FunPlus Phoenix get from the bottom lane. We see little LWX say that they think they are a better bottom lane duo than BLG's bottom lane duo. And for BLG, they've traditionally wanted to go top a lot more than bottom. So how much can FPX get for LWX, and how far can they set them ahead?
Because you've also said to me that LWX, when he is doing well for FunPlus Phoenix, you know, that's when FunPlus Phoenix look good. On top of that, not only have they been a little bit shaky throughout their games, but they haven't been able to close out games where they're incredibly far ahead when they get those leads.
Exactly. We've seen some kind of throws from FPX where they do want to go for those hero plays. LWX famously not going back to defend his base, instead opting for a 1v2 against enemy carries. And we also seen Bing getting caught out in that EDG game. So a lot of good starts, but a lot of times they can't really pull through.
On top of that, this is the last weekend before we head into cross-conference. Oh, no. No, not again, AmazingJ.
He's a very confident guy.
He certainly is. But
he says he's the most handsome person in the LPL.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, some people would agree.
He definitely would agree.
He agrees. Yeah. But this is the last weekend before we head into cross-conference, Clement. So this is the last last few games that FunPlus Phoenix will be able to play inside of their own group, and then they have to go up against the other conference, which is no easy test. And to, you know, go out of the first stage of group stages, only picking up a single win, which looks to be the case so far, unless they can take down Bilibili Gaming, is not a good rep for FunPlus Phoenix.
Exactly. Both of these teams are looking for the rebound currently. They've all been losing 2 sets coming into this series. They don't want to go down like 0-3.
However, Bilibili Gaming started strong in the LPL. Unfortunately, we're not able to take down Snake. As we saw that recap from Dom earlier on today, they'll be looking to try and progress further in the rankings with a victory here over FunPlus Phoenix. We'll have to see how this game pans out. We are heading into Champion Select. Already Azir, Sejuani, and Camille have been banned out by FunPlus Phoenix. Whereas Bilibili Gaming, they take away Cogmore from LWX, as well as Vladimir and Jarvan.
Good advantage for FPX just starting out. Between these two teams that have 9 wins in total, 8 wins have been for the blue side. So both of these teams really vying for that blue side control. We'll see Tahm Kench, which is a champion Bilibili Gaming, banned out twice in their previous series against Snake. This has been a huge problem for Bilibili Gaming because he provides so much engage in the mid game.
But they give it over to FunPlus Phoenix, so they pick it up as their supportive choice for Crisp. And Tahm Kench has been one of those high-priority pick and ban champions in the LPL. A couple of teams here and there don't heavily prioritize it, but Bilibili Gaming is one of them, as you mentioned, that likes to ban it out.
Yeah, they definitely don't want that champion in enemy hands. However, this does mean that FPX's bot lane is likely going to be less aggressive. Tahm Kench more of a kind of mid-game roaming composition. This might mean that FPX, instead of going for their like hyper carries, might go for some other champions that can survive on their own in the bottom lane. Bilibili Gaming here going for Ryze. This is Athena's second largest pick.
That's going to get locked in. Now looking to see what their next pickup is going to be. They go for Ornn, so that can still be flexed between AmazingJ as well as Road.
We haven't seen it being flexed so far for Bilibili Gaming, but as you said, always a possibility.
Now waiting to see what FunPlus Phoenix pick up as their next 2 picks heading into this match. One matchup that we're going to be looking into quite heavily is Pepper taking on SKS. Because SKS, he has been a little bit shaky, and Pepper seems to be the big playmaker for FunPlus Phoenix.
A big problem with SKS is once you ban out his Jarvan and his Sejuani, he tends to pick a lot of weird champions. We've seen the Ivern, the first pick Evelyn, and not a lot has really worked out for him. So he's being targeted heavily in the draft phase. We're seeing FPX doing this again, taking away Sejuani, which Bilibili Gaming has picked 5 times already. Like we predicted, they're going for a more defensive bottom lane, pick the Ezreal, so you can facilitate Tahm Kench to roam otherwhere.
We also have the Lee Sin being picked up for Pepper, so he can continue to be hyper-aggressive in the jungle. LWX has a very safe laning phase, and we are still on patch 8.1. So the small nerfs that came into Ezreal's Q have not taken effect yet in the LPL.
It's kind of an interesting look for FPX. Usually in their draft phase, they really like to go for the Varus pick and try to force things in the bottom lane. But instead, they're actually relying on Crisp to do the roaming to win from their bot lane, and actually just putting LWX on something that is a bit safer.
So we have to check in with FunPlus Phoenix's bottom lane as we head into the game. But for now, SKS has locked in Kha'Zix. Not a very weird champion, so to speak, in the current meta, Clement. Something that does well into Jarvan, where we picked up into the Lee Sin today.
Yep, this is a pick that typically we don't associate SKS with. He hasn't really picked up the Kha'Zix that much, so it's kind of a first look for him. Against Snake, we actually saw him bullied out in the jungle quite often, so this is a pick that probably, even though it looks offensive, is probably more defensive-minded for him.
Well, he has to survive Pepper's Lee Sin. Second ban phase coming through. FunPlus Phoenix, they take away Varus from Jinjiao, whereas Talia is the ban coming out from Bilibili Gaming.
Not a lot of the big four mid laners remaining here. Interesting thing to note, neither of these mid laners really plays Zoe. That's why we're not seeing it being picked or banned.
Could be the pick coming out from Bing heading into this game. Ryze was picked up by Athena very early for Bilibili Gaming. Cassiopeia is the final ban that comes out from Bilibili Gaming. And Kalista will hit the bench as well for Jinjiao.
So very interesting looks from both. Bilibili Gaming for Jinjiao, they still have the Caitlyn and the Tristana. Both picks that they've had quite a liking to. Safe picks in the bottom lane that can push out the waves.
They're up against an Ezreal and Tahm Kench, which is a fairly safe lane to go up against. Can provide some harassment. Does have a small amount of kill threat, but mostly just playing safe and passive. Jinjiao, however, will go back to one of his signature champions of Sivir, locked in the bottom lane.
It's kind of an interesting look from Bilibili Gaming, so they're actually putting a bit more, there's a bit more danger for their bot lane in terms of the Sivir pick. It's not really a pick that in team fights you can have survive for very long. So it's kind of like, I think both sides kind of look like they have reverse roles in the sense and what they're trying to do. So FPX not going for a very aggressive bottom lane, and Bilibili Gaming kind of going for a bot lane that it does kind of put itself in a lot of danger. Also, Gangplank, a huge pick for both top laners. Seeing this go over to Gimgoon. He was one of the first Gangplank users in the LPL.
And he's going to be up against AmazingJ, who has really stepped up this season. I mean, he did go to Worlds a couple of years ago.
Ooh, AmazingJ gets the last pick here against the Gangplank. We've seen a lot of interesting choices here. The Riven, everyone remembers that one.
But it could still be that flex of the Ornn heading into the top lane against Gangplank, which does all right. We'll have to see what Bilibili Gaming decide to do. They could pick up a support. They can still flex out for AmazingJ.
Looks like they are just going to keep that Ornn in the top lane.
And they pick up Braum as the supportive choice for Road, going up against the Tahm Kench by Crisp. And as you mentioned, Galio is the pickup of choice for Bing in the mid lane against Athena's Ryze.
It's a very interesting draft here. I feel like Bilibili Gaming, they actually, the way I would see it, they come out a little bit ahead of the draft just because their bot lane really isn't pressured that much from FPX. FPX, they like to play very aggressive. Most of their ganks from Pepper do go into that bot lane. But against this Bilibili matchup, I actually feel like they're kind of safe. They can just wave clear. If they have good warding, then it should be okay for them. I actually expected FPX to go with more hard carry options, like more CC in the bot lane, things like Alistar, maybe the Varus, but instead they opted for something also very defenses as well.
We've also seen a couple of teams now, Clement, pick Gangplank into the top lane against the Ornn, against the Ryze in the mid lane, against an aggressive jungler like a Jarvan or a Kha'Zix, and it hasn't gone well for them. Again this time though, FunPlus Phoenix pick up that Gangplank into such a team composition coming out from Bilibili Gaming, almost as if they're not afraid of that.
It does seem, I actually do like the Gangplank pick here just because you're doing it into two carries like Sivir and Ryze, who both have very short auto attack ranges and no real way to get out of your explosive barrels. So for me, the Gangplank pick actually makes quite a bit of sense. It's just that FPX is I feel like they're putting a lot of faith into going into the mid and late game team fights against Bilibili Gaming. They don't really have their early engine of Jarvan and the bot lane. So it's not something that fits their style that well. FPX for me really is a team that needs good early game leads and tries to snowball off of these. I guess what they're looking for is Pepper to kind of pull a flawless, basically, and try to dominate the early game with that Lee Sin pick, back him up with the Galio and the globals from Tahm Kench, try to win from the jungle and secure leads that way.
Well, he's got the right pick to do so, Clement. He's got the Lee Sin, which Flawless is well known for now. FunPlus Phoenix with a very global-based team composition with Tahm Kench bottom lane, Gangplank top side of the map. Even Galio being able to jump around the map. Oh, he's found it again.
I think BLG is winning out on that.
Just Bilibili Gaming. They're able to find the microphone every single time, Clement.
Yeah.
They stand right next to it and shout as loud as they can. But we are on to Summoner's Rift for the first match of this best of 3 series.
AmazingJ definitely a big part of that. The fans really love memeing him and putting up signs with him in different costumes. He did call himself a handsome anime character during interviews.
He called himself a handsome anime character?
Yes, he did. He's very confident in the way he looks.
What part about AmazingJ makes him the anime character? Because we know he likes to say he is a handsome man, and don't get me wrong, he is a handsome man.
He's a bit of a weeb. He's a bit of a weeb, just like our resident weeb Pulse.
Yeah, we need to get him and Pulse into an interview together, Clement.
That would be amazing.
I don't think it would be very, what's the word for it? A very good interview, because they'll just be talking about anime the entire time. But let's get back into this match. We'll see SKS start at his blue buff. The flip side, Pepper's going to be jungling laterally, picking up the red buff as well.
Both junglers heading towards their top side, taking 2 camps in the bot.
But still very quiet in the early stages of the game, as we've seen throughout most of this meta so far. No delayed invades, no early invades coming out from either team, and we have not seen many of those in the LPL just yet. Gives us time to take stock of what's being picked up as the items of choice. You can still see the Relic Shields in the bottom lane by both teams, still patch 8.1. So the 50% reduced healing for AD carries, or ranged champions I should say, has not kicked in just yet. Minion Dematerializer picked up by Road, as well as Galio in the mid lane. We have 5 stopwatches being picked up by Bilibili Gaming, and just 3 being picked up by FunPlus Phoenix.
We do have the League of Stopwatches here, just like in the mic check. What's interesting about this is the Galio bring up Minion Dematerializer. We did see this from Yagao, allowed him to roam level 4.
Ooh, as Athena sticks around, takes quite a bit of damage from Pepper, but they're just going to trade. You're saying Minion Dematerializer being picked up. Oh no, we can't even talk about that because SKS, he's found Pepper. Level 3 against level 2. Athena flashing it as well. That's first blood going over to Bilibili Gaming's mid laner.
That was a very risky gank from the Lee Sin there. Level 2 straight into a gank. That's kind of an interesting timing because he didn't just go red buff into the gank. He actually stayed for his Raptors and then went in. And this is why SKS was able to out-level him and catch him out on the left side. So if they wanted to do that, and we have seen this type of gank come out from the Lee Sin, especially Clid is the person to do that. But if you want to do that, you kind of have to do it for a faster timing, or you get punished very easily for that.
Oh, he is getting punished incredibly hard here, Clement. Not only has he been taken down for first blood, but Athena's got red buff. You can see SKS is farming the entire top side of Pepper's jungle.
Ooh, that's 3 camps taken away by the Kha'Zix right here. And this is a huge problem about Pepper. Sure, he has really flashy plays, but a lot of times he does not recover well. We all remember that game where he started the game 0-5 on Graves, and this has been a consistent issue for Pepper.
And this is what we talked about in Champions Select, Clement. When Ornn is able to free push top side of map very early on, it allows Ryze to rotate from mid lane. It allows an aggressive jungler like Kha'Zix to come up as well. And now Gimgoon is stuck underneath his turret. First up, it is going to be AmazingJ taking the turret. Gimgoon will flash away. SKS jumps in, picks up that kill, and they take down the Gangplank.
Really no hope right there for Gimgoon to survive that incoming gank. This is really spiraling out of control in the early game for FPX.
Bilibili Gaming already 1,000 gold ahead of FunPlus Phoenix. 2 kills picked up, 1 going over to SKS in the jungle, picking up on the top side of the map, and Athena picking up that first blood in the mid lane. Already has his tier, looking for the catalyst next, and with Pepper being shut down so hard in the jungle, I don't quite see where FunPlus Phoenix go towards now.
Yeah, this is really spiraling out of the style that FPX likes to play. They really like letting Gimgoon stay on an island, don't really have to reinforce him that much, but now they don't have a pushing bot lane, and also their top lane is going to need a lot of help from Pepper if he's going to continue to farm there.
Now to see if Pepper's able to get any farm himself first. As we mentioned earlier, SKS took the entire top side of his jungle. He's 2 levels, or was 2 levels above Pepper. Now just a single level above, level 5 to 4. Mid lane, things still doing fine against Athena. But Athena does have the upper hand in this matchup for now.
You can see on the top side again, AmazingJ is going to have complete control of pushing this wave in. And they also have a lot of vision here, so if BLG want to do another roam top, it's actually fairly easy for them. The Gangplank no longer has his flash either.
Pepper again walking through his own jungle, still level 4. SKS just waiting for him though, spots him out with the Scrying Orb, goes for a bit of damage onto the Lee Sin, but just kind of chasing Pepper out of his own jungle.
Yeah, does have the longsword advantage. Pepper has no choice but to back up. We could see that Pepper doesn't really want to come here. He knows that SKS does have the timers for these camps, but he really needs to reinforce his top lane as well. So kind of a lose-lose situation there.
Bottom side of the map, both teams just trading aggressively, whereas in the mid lane, Pepper's looking for a return gank. No taunt coming out from Bing. So Athena just turns around and deals out damage towards Pepper, tries to take them on 2-on-1.
If we look at the map now, SKS has a possibility to go 6 camps ahead of Pepper, taking both rotations of this top side. It's very devastating for Pepper. Pepper actually only managed to get the Krugs back from BLG's blue side.
That is brutal. Shutting Pepper down very early into the match. Already we can see the first teleport coming out from an AD carry as Sivir will teleport back to lane, but not again. Athena as well as SKS make their way into the top lane. Gimgoon is stuck underneath his turret, and he's just being shepherded to a dangerous spot. As AmazingJ, SKS, as well as Athena will go for the second dive. SKS will tank it up first. Sorry, AmazingJ is first. Galio tries to jump in to save the Gangplank, and will successfully do so. But that's 2 ultimates being used.
Watch the bot lane.
Pepper tries to get into the bottom lane. Teleport coming right behind the support. Chris taking a lot of damage. LWX will join in. He eats up Braum, and they'll get a return kill. But it's Athena that gets one back for his team. Will be able to jump back out with the ultimate. Uses the stopwatch a little bit too late, though. LWX will not be able to get that last little attack. Finally flushes back in. Picks up a return kill for FPX.
Disaster in the bot lane. BLG trying to play both sides of the map simultaneously. They do get 2 ultimates from the top lane, but then decide to help save their bot lane instead of backing up right there. That's actually a huge map mistake.
Top of that, Athena, a little bit greedy there, Clement. Could have used the stopwatch early with his combo, but decided to hold on just in case he did not have to.
Yeah, I really feel like LWX decided to go in after seeing Athena pop the stopwatch right there. A bit of a mistake.
Not he shouldn't have been away, and again, this game for FPX relies on LWX. There was that fight on the bottom lane.
So they have 3 men in the top. They go bottom, and now they should just back off. Actually, Road would have been fine here. The TP was already forcing them back. Athena still decides to finish his teleport, doesn't save Crisp, and then gets himself killed. This chain of events really should have stopped with Athena canceling his teleport and BLG backing out.
Well, was not the case, and has given FPX some breathing room. In fact, they are only 500 gold behind Bilibili Gaming after the disaster of a start for their team. A lot of that you'd have to think is sitting with LWX at the moment on the Ezreal, who has picked up Kleptomancy, has the additional kill as well ahead of Jinjiao in the bottom lane.
We can really see where LWX's confidence is coming from the pre-game interview we just saw. He said that we should have a good advantage over BLG's bot lane, and it really is showing up here. Constantly pushed in, picked into a bad matchup, still able to pick up a lot of farm and kills in this lane.
Whereas checking back with the mid lane, Athena's been able to pick up his own blue buff, looking for a Rod of Ages. Bing's going to be walking over towards Pepper, who's setting up his own blue for him. Going for a bit more of a tanky round with the Galio, as you would expect.
Yep, kind of a blessing that he's able to take his own blue buff, considering that this side of the map has been taken away twice by SKS.
Still holding on at the moment, still very passive between the two teams. Again, Athena getting some good chip damage onto Bing, but there's a Tahm Kench coming behind him. Athena trying to waltz out of this one, will successfully disengage.
And this is the play that we said FPX was trying to set up during the ban pick phase. leave LWX in the bot lane and have Crips try to roam around on that Tahm Kench. Doesn't manage to get anything here.
Just fighting over a couple of wards, and Bilibili Gaming will continue to push through this mid lane. FunPlus Phoenix trying to find somewhere to attack this roster, but not able to do so just yet. SKS is still controlling Pepper's top side of the jungle. Pepper's been trying to farm up as much as he can on the bottom side, try and make as many plays as he can on the bottom side of the map as well.
Being found out on the bot side. This means an immediate dive from Bilibili Gaming coming in.
Galio's coming up again. Bing's going to try and defend Gimgoon once more. Ultimate comes out from the Pirate as well as the stopwatch use very early into the top lane.
Flash.
Try to go back in. Athena gets some good damage in, but decide not to follow through.
Really not enough done there in the top side. They at least needed the Gangplank flash.
Whereas in the bottom lane, you can see FunPlus Phoenix were setting up for a dive. There was good poke coming out from LWX to chip down Jinjiao. We'll continue to throw out abilities as well to chip away at the wave.
Just too much wave clear. Bilibili Gaming, again, losing another dragon. Actually, they're one of the only LPL teams to never secure a first Drake. That's kind of a bad stat, but kind of shows you the mentality that Bilibili Gaming really plays with. They're mostly about their top side, and they're going for their top tower again.
Teleport's going to be used by Galio to get into the top lane to try and defend this turret. Gets up there, taunt does connect. SKS will jump away. Meanwhile, Pepper has been able to pick up the first elemental dragon for his team. Mountain Dragon gets taken down.
Really not much of a surprise against SKS. It's really about how they equalize this disadvantage on the map. We see SKS going for the Herald right now. Athena already has his teleport up, and Ornn has full wave control, so this should be fairly safe. Lee Sin is on the other side of the map.
Bottom side of the map, though, FunPlus Phoenix have control, as you would expect with LWX and Crisp. Jinjiao Road just trying to defend this one. In fact, going a bit aggressive against the Tahm Kench, popping down the hunt to get into the lane a bit faster.
It's kind of an interesting move right there. Will make them easier to dive later on.
But SKS does pick up Rift Herald for himself. No contest coming out from FunPlus Phoenix. Gold is still dead even between the two teams, which is surprising to see, especially after how much work SKS, AmazingJ, and Athena have been able to do on the top side of the map.
Yeah, giving up 2 kills in the bottom lane really slowed down Bilibili Gaming. Unnecessary moves right there. Bilibili Gaming was one of the slower teams to play last split. Basically, all 3 of their lanes had negative gold differentials. They did pull back a little bit this split, but they're still not considered one of the strong early game teams.
Once again, we can see the unsealed spellbook use coming out from Jinjiao as AmazingJ picks up the first turret on the top side of the map. Jinjiao's been constantly poked out by LWX and harassed away from the lane, but Teleport allows Sivir to come back in nice and healthy and continue pushing against LWX and Chris, trying to stay as even as possible in this bottom lane.
And it's worth you to point out that AmazingJ still does have his teleport, so they could be starting to look for these map plays.
As Rift Herald gets popped nice and early by SKS in the mid lane, we have everybody from Bilibili Gaming collapsing behind Galio. Wards have been cleared out, a couple more plays down as well. First charge comes through, allows Bilibili Gaming to step up and get damage onto this turret. Shepherding another minion wave into the mid lane, and it will be able to break the structure nice and easy. Continue to push through here though, Clement.
Cannon Barrage is still up, so instantly Gimgoon is going to use that to dissuade Bilibili Gaming from pushing anymore.
Gives Bilibili Gaming a 2,000 gold lead over FunPlus Phoenix.
And Bilibili Gaming, what they really want to do and how they usually win their games is through that mid and late game team fight. So far they're on a very good start. They have a composition that has a very easy time of engaging on the enemy team composition. I do like the way Bilibili Gaming drafted as well. I felt like they managed to avoid FPX's strong points in the bot lane.
Which is so far good for Bilibili Gaming, especially since FunPlus Phoenix are known as a team that is very strong early, but not as good late game.
Yeah, FPX, they do have their very, very good early games, and they have their atrocious early games. For me, I would actually say this is kind of one of the later games for them. Disaster happening early on with that first blood going over to Athena.
Still holding on, however. Jinjiao Road don't look very comfortable underneath the bottom lane outer turret, but still holding on as much as they can, while the rest of Bilibili Gaming attack the top side of the map. Jinjiao again taking a lot of harassment coming out from LWX. This turret is a couple more pushes from FunPlus Phoenix from falling down.
It's very interesting that we're seeing a proto belt coming out from the Galio.
Ah.
I don't believe you can hold W and then proto belt. I think that should be locked. So it's
we'll
kind of an
find
interesting
out.
purchase, yeah.
Is used for wave clear from time to time as well as that extra mobility, but we'll have to see if there's any unique interactions coming through. Road now trying to throw up the Unbreakable just to stop the poke coming out from LWX, and Chris as well as defend that turret a little bit better. But every time Machine Proc is available, LWX will step up and chip away at the turret once more.
So far, FPX have not managed to do any aggressive plays. But now AmazingJ coming from the bot lane.
And it's going to be Pepper jumping into the mid lane on top of that. Bing trying to chase forward as well. Chris will lock him down. Ultimate comes out from Ornn. Athena still alive.
Escape.
Finally will die to the ignite that came out from Chris. AmazingJ jumps into the team fight now, being surrounded by people from FunPlus Phoenix. As you mentioned, Ornn was heading into the bottom lane, but had to divert back to mid lane after that gank came out from FunPlus Phoenix.
Burns his teleport as well. You can see a little how the Galio started using the proto belt, so he actually procs the proto belt first and then goes into taunt range.
So good fights coming out from FunPlus Phoenix, trying to keep themselves in this match. Or in fact, try and take back that lead that Bilibili Gaming have acquired. Now moving 3 people into the bottom lane to, again,
3v2 with Cannon Barrage.
Make another push for this turret. Jinjiao gets the spell shoot off onto the Lee Sin Q. Good wave clear coming out from Bilibili Gaming. Stops them from being able to take down that turret in one push.
Still holding on so far. FPX, for them, the moment that they are going to start to really come back into the game is when you see Pepper being able to go into Bilibili Gaming's jungle. I feel like that is going to enable a lot of their cannonball plays where Galio can just prop down on the Lee Sin and funnel that with the Cannon Barrage and the True Shot Barrage coming from Ezreal as well.
This entire time, though, AmazingJ has been stuck on the bottom side of the map, allowing Gimgoon to continue pushing in the top lane, getting some farm for himself, as well as chipping away that top lane outer turret. As well as the bottom lane for FunPlus Phoenix, finally taking down the bottom lane outer turret.
Yeah, this is an interesting playstyle from AmazingJ. Yes, he can split push, but a lot of times he actually does prefer coming into his team and trying to find fights 5v5. We see him doing this again.
Ocean Dragon is up and available. Bilibili Gaming might move towards that objective, and they do.
Ooh, this should be Bilibili Gaming's fight, honestly. I feel like they do have a lot of engage.
Let's see if they go for it. Bilibili Gaming trying to start off the Dragon first. SKS secures it with Smite. Road jumps away. Ornn throws out his own ultimate, gets a big knock up in the back lines, and Road will follow through. AmazingJ now trying to jump into the front lines. Bing in some trouble. Jinjiao with good damage. SKS finds LWX in the back lines, pops his own stopwatch, will flash away as Jinjiao takes down the mid laner. Gimgoon's gone as well, as the rest of FunPlus Phoenix are trying to run away. Double kill picked up by Sivir.
I feel like this was miscommunication on FPX's part. Right now, their champions are really as strong as Bilibili Gaming, so once their initial engage failed to catch out a single member from Bilibili Gaming, they should have gone back, but instead they stayed for the fight, gave AmazingJ a great knock-up, a double knock-up into Gimgoon, and Gimgoon had to run away there.
Meanwhile, LWX still trying to be a bit aggressive in the bottom lane. Pepper trying to chase through, lands the Sonic Wave onto Road, trying to slow down the rest of the team. Teleport's even coming in on top of that by Bing, jumping into this fight. Pepper's going to miss that last Q coming out from Lee Sin, forcing flashes out of Bilibili Gaming's bottom lane.
Yeah, that was I think that's just a wrong read from FPX right there. If the Gangplank is in with the Ornn in terms of a 5v5 situation, not like a 4v5, then I don't think they actually win this. Look at AmazingJ, great double knock up there with the Volcanic Rupture. And just watch LWX against SKS. He almost gets him with the True Shot Barrage, mistimes it, and SKS is able to escape.
The back end of this team fight is just Pepper as well as LWX running away. They tried to chase down Jinjiao Road on the bottom side of the map, didn't work out for them. And Bilibili Gaming get the Dragon as well as a lead for themselves after that team fight.
Yeah, that was just a wrong read from FPX. You should not pursue that team fight after all of your ultimates go down and you don't kill anyone. That's time to immediately back off. So I'm not sure why FPX opted into that fight. Maybe they underestimated their team fight their opponent's team fight ability. But this is Bilibili Gaming they're going up against.
Doesn't work out well for them. But it's still only a 2,000 gold lead that separates the two teams. Make it 3 now that AmazingJ's been able to take down the bottom lane outer turret. It's a good start for Bilibili Gaming. They just have to try and find a way to close it out against FunPlus Phoenix, who have been notoriously weak in the late game.
Right now, what they can do, if they catch FPX in open ground, it's instantly Sivir ultimate with the Realm Warp, with the Call of the Forge God. They can chase anyone down in open ground. So you're seeing FPX, what they can do is they need to hold out kind of in their jungle and use that terrain to not allow BLG Gaming to just run at them.
Lots of pings going into the top side of the jungle from Bilibili Gaming. SKS has spotted out Galio. Athena uses his own ultimate to collapse on towards Bing, who decides to turn around as the rest of Bilibili Gaming collapse as well. They get a pick onto FPX's mid lane and now making their way towards the Baron pit.
And we see this happening so many times for FPX. Bing is the single member that is caught out a lot. Still doesn't look like they have that team cohesion with their mid laner.
Bilibili Gaming starts up the Baron buff. SKS is below half health and Pepper is making his way into the back lines of the pit. We'll spot them all out with the scrying ult plant. Bilibili Gaming decide to back off. The Forge Guard gets called up. Looking to try and lock down the Tahm Kench at the back of this fight. Road will connect. AmazingJ gets that kill. As FunPlus Phoenix again lose another member.
Crisp can escape even with his flash. Is caught out, but does manage to delay Bilibili Gaming from taking the Baron. I feel like this is actually a decently smart play from Bilibili Gaming. They didn't have the top red side control of the enemy jungle, so they didn't want to risk Pepper possibly getting a smite. Instead, they just go for a simple kill.
Oh, it's a 4,000 gold lead now for FunPlus Phoenix. Sorry, for Bilibili Gaming at the moment against FunPlus Phoenix. Again, these small incremental advantages, Clement, keep going in the way of Bilibili Gaming.
Yep. The question is, what does FPX really do now? Because I feel their composition in a straight 5v5 does not beat out Bilibili Gaming. What they do need is catches, but they don't have the map control to really facilitate a lot of these catches. What they really wanted to happen was the mid-game to kind of slow down and have their towers up so Lee Sin could do invades and then group up on the Lee Sin. But currently, they're just getting their members caught out all over the map. They're not able to be the aggressive ones on the map. So this catching composition is not working out for them.
Once more, we see Bilibili Gaming group up around the top side of FunPlus Phoenix's jungle. They've caught out Pepper this time around. He's forced to flash away. Teleports will be used to get into the top lane as well by FunPlus Phoenix to collapse and defend their top lane turret, as well as get a positional advantage over this Baron buff, which Bilibili Gaming have been kiting around time and time again.
It's very important to note now that there are no blue trinkets from FPX, so they do have to come into this blind. They don't have a good way to check into the Baron, and we're seeing Bilibili Gaming just stack up on this brush.
Baiting it over and over again, making sure they advance their ward line whenever they can. As Jinjiao continues to shove out this mid lane on Sivir, able to do so quite effectively.
FPX do manage to wait out until they have the blue trinket back again on Ezreal. So they're able to be just a little bit more aggressive, push out the mid wave.
Dragon comes back up now as well, another Mountain Dragon on the table. And already SKS has made his way into the bottom lane. Again, making sure Bilibili Gaming takes small objectives here and there whenever they can. Not rushing or not forcing the Baron buff as we have seen a few teams in the LPL do before.
This is kind of Bilibili Gaming's playstyle. They are usually a bit more reserved than your average LPL team. Do like to take things a bit slower. So they're probably going to end this game on a teamfight bait from the Baron. If it's a 5v5, they should have a decided advantage.
Again, lots of action early between the two teams. Couple of picks here and there from Bilibili Gaming in the last 10 minutes or so. But it's just been both sides trying to farm it out. And Bilibili Gaming taking small objectives. Now they might try and force a fight here as teleport comes out from Athena towards the Baron pit.
This could have done better. FPX's ward was still up, so they do spot the teleport.
And there is a ward spotting them out on the backside of the pit, but Sivir throws out the ultimate. AmazingJ redirects his own. LWX does get caught out. Good Gangplank ultimate though, keeping the rest of Bilibili Gaming separated. And Gimgoon gets that first kill. Now it's Bilibili on the retreat. They will be able to get out with the Ryze ultimate, but so many low health bars on their team.
That was a great flash from Bing, cutting off the entire choke point so Ezreal could have a free lane to deal damage.
And FunPlus Phoenix are looking for the swing here, looking to try and take down that Baron buff to turn the game around. Road in trouble. LWX peels off, gets good damage, forces the flash. Big flash coming out as Ornn jumps in. AmazingJ looking to be the hero of the team. Eaten up by Chris. Bing is very low, has to be careful. AmazingJ gets that first kill. LWX sniped up by the boomerang. That looked like one from Australia as FPX forced to run away. Jinjiao chasing him down, and it will be Bilibili Gaming to pick up the win.
The Bilibili Gaming team fight comes out. At first I thought LWX was going to clean up every single member. If we saw right there, there was 3 low health members. BLG's carries, their Sivir, their Ryze. They could have been taken out by LWX, but he does take a boomerang to the face and goes down.
Big win in the team fight. Baron buff picked up. And that just looked like the last chance for FunPlus Phoenix to get back into this game without a massive upset.
Yeah, FPX did take out the SKS at the start of the fight, but weren't able to clean up the 5v4. See Road coming out here, kind of goading them to take free Baron damage. Most important is LWX and his health bar. He's very healthy. He's zoning out 3 members from Bilibili Gaming. But somehow AmazingJ is able to make it work in the top lane. LWX ease in and takes too much damage. Dies with the flash out. Oh, that was so close from LWX, but I really felt like he misplayed it.
Hyper aggressive from LWX. A little bit too aggressive at that. While the rest of his team could not deal with AmazingJ. His Ornn just looks flawless in this match so far. Jinjiao, Athena, as well as Road working really well together in the back half of that fight to pick off the only carry that was left for FunPlus Phoenix of LWX.
He was so close to saving the game for FPX. Also a hero over here, and it comes another team fight.
But he's going to be one that gets locked down first by AmazingJ's ultimate. This just gives Bilibili Gaming time to push in for the inhibitor turret. They lock down Bing, they try to get a kill onto the Galio. Eaten up by Chris to stay alive. But Bilibili Gaming have their eyes focused on the objectives. Mid lane inhibitor turret falls and the inhibitor shot. The ultimate catch out on LWX! Surprise as Athena goes forward. Gets the kill onto the carry of FunPlus Phoenix.
Great combo right there. Flashes in for the Rune Prison and AmazingJ follows it up with a knockup.
Top side of the map is the next objective for Bilibili Gaming. Gimgoon using his ultimate of Gangplanks to just make it a bit more hard for Bilibili Gaming to push in, but slowly and surely they will make their way towards the base once again.
AmazingJ actually deciding to face tank that entire wave, even with the minion wave.
And
ultimate up again.
Ultimate coming back up for AmazingJ means it's go time as they collapse onto Chris. He can't even use his great health to save him. That's how fast Bilibili Gaming take him down. They're onto the second inhibitor inside of FunPlus Phoenix's base.
Knockup followed into an instant stun coming out from the concussive blows from Road. No chance for Chris to really escape that.
And they're out. FunPlus Phoenix lose 2 inhibitors as Bilibili Gaming recall with still a minute left on their Baron buff and an 11,000 gold lead over FunPlus Phoenix.
This really looks like the beginning of the end for FunPlus Phoenix. And I just want to go back to how it started. We had such high expectations for Pepper, but now he's currently sitting at 13th in terms of gold difference at 10 for junglers. A lot of it has been his early game problems. Like, we see him giving up very easy kills to the enemy team, and his team isn't really able to function if they don't get that early game lead. Trying to catch out AmazingJ.
Trying to collapse onto AmazingJ. Road is here to try and back him up. All the members of FunPlus Phoenix looking for this fight, but they're just so tanky, Clement. Bilibili Gaming don't really care about FunPlus Phoenix's collapse because one by one, the rest of the team group back up. Jinjiao now in the fight picks up a double kill for himself. Athena will run warp into the fight on top of that. They don't care about this turret because they are on the hunt, chasing down the last 3 members. LWX is first. Gangplank can't do anything against this onslaught of Bilibili Gaming members as even diving past the inner turret, past the inhibitor turret, they're just pushing for the Nexus.
Bilibili Gaming's teamfight composition in the work right now. Very easy 8-click move forward teamfight for them.
And no Baron buff, no problem. Bilibili Gaming are going to be able to take down both Nexus turrets. Only Pepper and Gimgoon left up alive, but 5 members strong. Bilibili Gaming will be able to take down the Nexus and pick up the first game of this best-of-3 series.
Absolute massacre coming out from Bilibili Gaming, and we can see the fan photos right now with AmazingJ hugging AmazingJ, your most handsome person in the LPL.
Rightfully so. AmazingJ played incredibly well in that match. He was set up for success by SKS as well as Athena in the mid lane, but still, his on play is just so beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and that was a very good game from Bilibili Gaming at the start, but I think a lot of it comes down to just that arcane shift from LWX. How much could have changed from that E? If he E backward and finished off AmazingJ, AmazingJ wouldn't have gotten those 2 kills, and they could have zoned off the 3 remaining members from Bilibili Gaming. That could have changed the team fight. But instead, he arcane shifts forward, takes a Q from Road, gets slowed, and then the boomerang finishes him off.
On top of that, Athena was sitting right there to put the damage down to LWX and lock him down even longer. Bilibili Gaming, they looked strong throughout the course of that game. FunPlus Phoenix, though, they still had their moments. They were able to claw back from the early deficit that where Pepper got set behind. They almost had that Baron fight as well, Clement. They weren't completely out of this match, but Bilibili Gaming looked like the superior team in game number 1.
Yeah, that was, aside from that Baron play, I don't feel like this game was really that close. I feel like Bilibili Gaming had a much better read on what they were supposed to do in this game. They avoided a lot of the early game, like, bot lane woes they had, even though they still haven't managed to get their first Drake in the LPL. And they just went with the teamfight composition they were comfortable with.
And it worked out for them in game number 1. To break it down a bit further, though, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Matthew Fish Stewart, and of course Clement Chu. That was a great set from Bilibili Gaming there. And
are you a Billy believer?
I am a Billy believer now after I think what we saw from this one. Now I just want to point out for our fans at home, we're still on patch 8.1,
yes.
And I'm sure FPX are saying those 8.2 Ornn nerfs have got to hit tournament realm sooner because he was huge.
Yeah, he was, but a lot of this for me starts before the Ornn ever became a big threat. He was a big threat later on in the game, but it's the rest of the draft that stands out the most to me. And the first thing that we need to compliment both teams for is that a Kog'Maw and a Camille were banned. Between both of these teams needs to be banned unless you're on blue side, in which case you can actually look towards picking one yourself. But lots of respect from FPX. They don't want to early pick the Camille. They had other things in mind and on the agenda, and that's where things started to differentiate through the rest of the pick ban phase, because FPX first picked Tahm Kench.
Yeah.
That's a curious thing for me already. I understand why Tahm Kench super high priority, the best support arguably right now as well.
Yeah.
But it's the other side that also stands out with Athena first picking Ryze, and he looked immaculate.
He did. He was really feeling himself over the course of that game. I remember talking with you on the desk, and he was constantly stepping forward, aggressing in that mid lane onto Bing. And I feel like there was just some momentum from the team that we saw picked up by that Kha'Zix, which was the third pickup as well.
Yeah, Athena was feeling himself, but that's compliments of SKS as well, right? So Pepper just ganks mid at level 2, doesn't work. SKS finds Pepper, he dies. Top side of the jungle is theirs. And when you have the top side of the jungle, you have entrance to the gank in the top lane, which is the Gangplank into the Ornn. And you have to gank the Gangplank or he starts to get too strong too quickly. They're able to do that simply because of Pepper ganking at level 2. Big mistake, cost them dearly.
You know, it's so funny. We heard before the game about the two teams talking about we're expecting FPX to prioritize bottom. You know, LWX is such a good player. They're going to be doing so much with that. But then BLG, they just gank top. And then again, and then a third time. And maybe they only get the kill the one time, but they definitely make the message known because AmazingJ absolutely thrived with all that pressure.
Yeah, it certainly did. And then when he gets ahead, it crescendos in some massive team fights from both of the teams as well. And from those team fights, you saw acceleration of the game. Everything goes out of control. This is the first major team fight that we have to look at as well because it's a Sivir. We haven't mentioned Sivir. Sivir's against 4 melee champions, and AmazingJ's able to kick it off brilliantly by locking them all down. And free time, free reign, all of the carries, Athena, Jinjiao, they are destroying everybody. And it all starts with that Ornn. Every time he sounds the horn, someone dies in this game.
Yeah, the massive Ornn horn, starting the fight with a 4-man knockup. And here he goes again, just further showing off, hey, There's a reason I'm getting nerfed in the next patch.
Yeah, he's 1v4ing, but LWX is also 1v3ing, and that's where we're seeing two different types of battles. However, LWX is not a tank, thinks he is, dashes forwards and dies, where AmazingJ is like, this is fantastic. Let's just keep going in this 1v3 battle, because he's able to win it. As an Ornn is fed, he's going to do a lot of damage and be impossible to kill.
Yeah, a triple kill. 4, 0, and 10. Wholly unsurprising. He's hugging himself here. You saw the fan holding his sign in which he's hugging himself as well. Man of the match, AmazingJ.
And this Ornn, I don't actually think will be touched coming into the second game by FPX. I have a feeling that they may not even consider banning it. And that's something that, I mean, he just got man of the match. He just went off in every single team fight. I just don't know if they're going to prioritize it as highly as they have other champions now that they're on the red side in Game 2.
Ooh, you're getting me a little concerned here, Rusty, because BLG have side selection in Game 2. They could pick blue side, and they could try to force that out. But then that brings us back to the pick and ban we talked earlier, with the Camille still needing to be banned, with the Kog'Maw still needing to be banned.
Exactly, and all of these Game 2 things are giant question marks that we'll have to see explored from FPX and BLG, especially with that side selection you mentioned. But from this game, there are other implications that also come into that Game 2 draft as well. It's not just how well the Ornn played, it was the Ryze priority that stood to attention for me. BLG picking it, playing confidently. For Athena to actually look confident and play confidently is a surprise and a pleasure to actually see from him. Yeah. They should look at that perhaps instead.
Yeah, no longer just sleeping in the mid lane. Athena is finally stepping up to his competition. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break while we get ready along with our players for game number 2, so don't go anywhere.